My name is Jonathan Walter. I work with the General Conference Ministerial Association, and I just want to say the last two presentations, Vyacheslav and Michael, very inspiring. Digital evangelism is moving forward full blast. Very exciting. I'm a pastor, so this excites me very much. And also, there's no more excuse not to collaborate across all platforms and around the world. So really awesome work that's being done there. We're just waiting for our presentation to come up on the screen, and then we'll get started here. All right. So I work with the General Conference Ministerial Association, and I'm the Media and Communications Manager for the association. And I was asked to share a little bit about some of the things we do, some of the challenges we might face with you. This is going to be a short presentation, so don't worry. We have, let's see here, clicker. All right. We serve pastors, families, local church leaders, administrators, departmental directors, and ministerial association secretaries around the world. We are an association, not a department. Although we are often referred to as a department, we kind of transcend that. We're kind of like the Holy Spirit. We serve everybody, and we are not necessarily bound by the structure of the church. We can serve people in various structures, whether you're a union or a local field. And we are here to support the leaders of the church in their mission, and that includes you as well. But specifically, we're focusing, of course, on pastors and elders, etc. Now, our primary target audience, of course, is Adventist leaders, but the work that we do also reaches Adventist members through the various initiatives of the General Conference, as well as non-Adventists as well in our outreach and other Christians. Now, we do have a whole massive cloud of brands, and you might recognize some on here. Of course, some of them are more prominent, like Revival and Reformation. I'm sure you've heard about this one, has been around for a while. But then also, we have various magazines. The latest initiative of the church is Back to the Altar, which you can see right here, which was a powerfully voted initiative at the last annual council to focus on family worship. We're struggling at the Adventist Church with family worship and also with digital hygiene because the statistics show that only about 30% of our members or less have regular family worship. And so this initiative is one of the things that is supposed to boost these numbers. We are aiming for 100%, of course, over the next couple of years. But as you can see, we have lots of brands, lots of things to manage. And I'm sure some of you have been in touch with these different initiatives and have helped us in communicating these things to the local church and field. And I want to encourage you, when you come across these things, reach out. You are communications leaders. You are to help us, the pastors, to communicate these things to our members, especially if you are in a division or union or conference level. We are dependent upon you to bring these people to these initiatives to the local field. And we produce a lot of content in multiple languages, and the design assets is always available. So if you go to revivalandreformation.org, you'll find a lot of these brands are under Revival and Reformation. 10 Days of Prayer is one of our strongest initiatives. So if you go to 10daysofprayer.org, you will find the materials for each year in about 40 languages now. We started with just a few, and we expanded over the last few years to 40 languages, which is one of the most well-adapted and adopted initiatives in the church. And so we want to encourage you to help us, our members, to be aware of these wonderful resources for their spiritual lives. Now, all these brands that we have, and there's more, but I showed you the most popular ones, translate into a couple of social media accounts that we manage, and where you can find also information and be just in the loop. So you just search for these things. You search 10 Days of Prayer, search for Revival Information, you'll find these things on social media. We have about 200,000 social media followers. This is not to impress anybody, just to get a little bit of an idea. As well as 150,000 or so email subscribers. We have noticed that email is still working well. It is we have quite high open rates. We praise God for that because we don't know what we're doing, but we're thankful that the Lord is blessing. And a lot of the people who open our emails are engaged with their daily Bible chapter, Believers, Prophets, and United in Prayer and other initiatives as well. Now, we also have 3 magazines in our department, in our association, and which translates to about 170,000 print subscribers. However, the number is higher if you consider other languages. So this is just talking about the English language. Some of you might be involved in the other languages, French and Spanish and others, for these magazines. And we also are reaching out to non-Adventist pastors. This is the Adventist Church's largest outreach to non-Adventist pastors. It's through Ministry magazine. Every second month, we reach out to them by sending them a free issue of Ministry magazine, and currently it's about 44,000 non-Adventist pastors. And this is an important work, because we're told that many of these pastors will come to the truth in the last days, and so we try to bless them in their ministry and in what we do as an Adventist church, and with our theology, really. And we have gotten a lot of wonderful feedback of people who have for years read our magazine and have been inspired and led into a deeper truth of the Bible. Our outreach is primarily print and online avenues. So whenever we do these events, you'll find, of course, our strategy involves every aspect of media. But we have a challenge, and that is that print is dying. And we all know this. It's not dead yet, but it is definitely dying. And the big newspapers and magazines around the world, they have understood this for a long time, and they have transitioned into much more of a digital focus. So when you see an exciting article from the New York Times or Washington Post or whatever it is, you might see, you can read it 2 or 3 articles for free, but then you have to pay. That's a paywall. And so they have understood that you have to move into digital because people, either they don't have time to read print, or they don't want to read print, or they are very environmentally conscious and they don't want trees to be cut down. And so we have challenged, what do we do with our magazines? So Ministry magazine is for pastors, Elders Digest is for elders, but also deacons and deaconesses, which make up the majority of church leaders around the world. And then Stronger Together, which used to be called The Journal, is the magazine for pastors' spouses and families. And so our challenge is, what do we do in this world of analog versus digital? And for now, we have decided we will embrace both and make it analog and digital. And so I want to share just a few things that we are doing to kind of bridge the gap, because there's still a generation out there that prefers the print, while there's others who just prefer digital, and some like both. So we're trying to find connections between the two. So for example, we have digital subscription options now. So people pastors in this case, they can subscribe to Ministry magazine, they receive an email, and then they can either download a PDF issue or click on the article in the email, and it will take them right away to the website. Now, I'm sharing this with you just to inspire you. Some of you might also have run magazines or content, print content, and so maybe this gives you some ideas of what you can do with your content. Now, this digital subscription then translates into access to the PDF of the magazine, but also access to the articles online. So all of our articles are, of course, available online. However, they are behind a paywall in that sense. There's a few articles that are available for free, but the latest issue is always behind the paywall. The latest 3 issues at any given time is behind the paywall. But if you're a subscriber, you have access. And if you're a print subscriber, we give you free access to digital. You just have to sign up. So that's one way we're trying to make the transition easier. Another thing we do is then, of course, on the website, this is the website for Ministry magazine. You can just read the articles there when you're logged in, and you'll have access to it there. You can listen to it, you can read it, and it's just a blog-based article presentation. Then if you do download the PDF, I'm not a fan of reading PDFs. I'll be honest with you, never been. But if you do like that, we try to make it easier to read by making sure the PDFs are linked. So if someone wants to read a magazine, the PDF, they go in there and they're like, oh, okay, I want to read this article here. Let's see, which one do I want to read? Oh, I think I want to read Our High Calling. So you can just click on it and it will take you right away there instead of having to scroll through all the pages and then you don't know how to get there. And so it just makes it a little easier for the digital experience, and makes it just more reader-friendly on your computer. And then we also have in our articles, sometimes we'll have a QR code with additional resources. So if people say, hey, you know what, I want to go deeper than this article, we offer, hey, there's more resources, and you can just go scan the QR code, and it will take you to the website if you're reading the print magazine. In this case, we had an issue on storytelling and narrative-based preaching, and there were stories you can listen to on your website. And so there was a little QR code, it took you there. This is not something that was included, like you cannot listen to something or read something digital in your print magazine, so this was a link to the website then. Now, this is something we're really proud of and happy with. We have transitioned all of our magazines also into audio, meaning we have professional readers who will who read our articles, which we record, and each article has a QR code next to it on the print, you can see there, and then you just click on it, and then you can listen to the article on your device. Every device works.
One Certainty Prevails.
Yeah, so this is just
by Anthony Kent. Read by Shauna Chung.
So you can listen to the article, you can even read it as you listen to it, you can speed it up if you need to. And this has helped a lot of pastors, because pastors, they don't have time to read, but they do have a lot of time to listen when they drive around in their ministry and their work. And so we have said this is going to be a way that we do this, and this also translates into podcasts. So we have all of our 3 magazines available as podcasts, as well as the Believers Prophets Daily Chapter. So you can search for these podcasts and subscribe and listen to phenomenal content for free. And you can double speed it, which is one of my favorite things to do. I wish they had triple speed, but they don't have that yet in podcast. But yeah, you just search for whatever podcast you want. And this has been a blessing to pastors, especially. So many people have given us feedback, hey, this is so helpful. We love Ministry Magazine, we just don't have time to read it. And so you subscribe, and you just get the latest episodes delivered for you, and they are high quality.
One Certainty Prevails by Anthony Kent.
Yeah, here we go again.
Read by Shauna Chung.
We have various
Anthony
voices,
Kent,
so we
with
try
a master's
to
in
cater to
theology,
the
is the
international.
editor of
You see, there's lots of issues there. We try to cater to the international audience that we serve as a church, and so we have voices from various backgrounds. We have British, South African. I think we have a French voice as well. This is just the English content, but they have accents, so we try to keep it more interesting that way. And yeah, another thing that we try to make, where we try to make the digital experience, enhance the digital experience, is searchable archives. And so here, if you go on our website and you click archives, you can search, it's integrated research. So this is great. You can go back almost 100 years now of Ministry Magazine, or you can just search by keywords. 3 angels, here you have like 1,400 results. So if you're trying to prepare a sermon, or you're trying to find theological answers, you just go to a website, you search for it, and we have digitalized every issue of Ministry Magazine since 1928. This is from July 1980, a funny issue there, and you would have never found this if it wasn't digitalized. So we're trying to provide a service especially for pastors and theology students, but this is also an outreach tool because it helps people who are searching for Bible questions. They come to our website. Every day we have thousands of people visiting this website. It's not just Adventist pastors. It's a great blessing in digital evangelism as well. Okay, real quick, since this was on AI this weekend, and I'm sad I couldn't be here for most of the time, but just some ways that we use AI in our magazine, in our association. These are the main AI tools that we've been utilizing since last year. Midjourney, of course, very, very powerful tool to generate graphics, which we use primarily for revival and reformation, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Topaz to upscale the images. We have, of course, ChatGPT for copy, and then others. DeepL, great tool. Probably all of you are aware of it. Translation tool. You may have heard more about translation this week, and I'm not sure, but this is something we need a lot, and we can save a lot of money with by translating our magazines. We run it through DeepL, and then we have an editor quickly go over it to make sure it is proper translation. But it saves us a lot of time and a lot of money. Here's an example we used a logo creator because we have this new brand, Stronger Together, and we said, hey, maybe AI can help us find a logo. And so we didn't go with any of the logos that the AI suggested, but it was good for inspiration. And then our graphic designer worked with some of those things as we kind of selected where we wanted to go. Great tools out there, easy to use. And so that's that. All right. Here's some examples of how we use, I don't know if you can see this on the screen well, but how we use Midjourney to create biblical artwork that will help us communicate, whatever the content of the daily Bible chapter is that day. And so these are all Midjourney generated graphics of biblical artwork, because we all are aware of, we kind of get used to the Bible pictures we have seen for decades. It's nice to have something fresh, and people have asked us already, where do you get these pictures? And then, it's just AI generated. So you see here on Esther chapter 6, or captives returning to Jerusalem. So this is new art that we can use, Bible art, created all by AI. Here another one, Swiss reformer. All right, Job's repentance. So you see it's just beautiful. And this is just getting better, as you know. Midjourney is really awesome, and some other tools as well. And in the future, we're looking to integrate GPT-powered chatbots. So we wanted, for example, turn Ministry Magazine into a way to, in a chatbot way to connect with the content, so people can ask questions, and it's more interactive and maybe easier to find some of these tools and get summaries, etc. For our general work in the Ministerial Association, we want to utilize AI-generated meeting summaries, which is really helpful and can help us just be more efficient in our work. Synthesia Audio is one of the AI audio tools that you can generate. You already heard Derek Morris speak today in multiple languages. That's kind of connected to that. We want to save some money for our podcast production by using AI voices. And that way, it's not quite there yet, in my opinion, the ones that we have listened to, but it's getting there in the next few months, I'm sure, and then we can utilize that and have even faster audio production. Lastly, as we are a Ministerial Association, we are pastors. Pastors are communicators. They're the main communicators in the church, but they are to work with you, and you are to work with them. The church manual says the pastor, who is primarily responsible for the communication program of the church, will work closely in an advisory capacity with the communication secretary or committee. I want to encourage you, let's make this a reality. Work with your pastor. Many of the pastors you engage with, they may not be fully technically capable of doing the things that need to be done. They need your help. Help them, support them. And the other way around, also listen to your pastor as he also has insights you might not be aware of in trying to reach your community for Christ. So I just want to encourage you, thank you so much for what you're doing and the support you give the pastors and the church leaders around the world as you reach out for Christ. God bless you. Thank you.